Welcome, family and friends. For the Family Movie Reviews is a YouTube channel dedicated to reviewing all the latest movies and your requested movie reviews focused on grading and disclosing the content and how appropriate it is for children. We simply want to provide full disclosure and transparency around the movies and what content is in the movies for you to make a wise decision. Let's get right to the video. Today we're talking about Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is one of the best movies that was released this year in 2022, so we have a lot to say about this movie. Great movie. So this movie was released on 2022, May 27th. It was originally announced way back in 2010 when they started the writing and casting. It was initially scheduled to be released July 2019. Due to COVID and all the action editing sequences, it was delayed. And the pandemic, it was delayed all the way up until May 2022 when they thought it was ready for cinematic release. It was very much a movie that was made for cinema, for IMAX, 4DX, 3D, and Dolby Cinema. This is the highest grossing film of Tom Cruise's career. He's made $100 million plus so far from this movie. This movie is quite unique where they got Val Kilmer to reprise their role. Despite his throat cancer, they actually dubbed his voice in. He was quite, hesitant to take on the role because he didn't want that to affect his legacy and his career, to see him in his declining health. So they actually dubbed in his voice for a few of his lines. This movie paid a lot of money to the US Navy to do the filming sequences. There's no CGI. They filmed over 800 hours for this movie of raw footage that they edited into for all the different flight sequences. The amount of film was more than the actual trilogy for Lord of the Rings. So the filming efforts, the cast learning how to fly US fighter jets, this production was quite unique and massive in that sense. So it's a good movie. It was rated PG-13 by the MPAA due to sequences of intense action and some strong language. Very mild PG-13 movie. Let's go into the sex topics and then we'll go into the violence and language. So sex, there's men and women kissing. You see the man shirtless later, bare chest, abdomen are seen. Men and women kissing, hugging, holding hands. Men and women flirting. He tells him he knows how this is going to end, so let's not start this time. Teen girl tells mom don't break her heart again. And then a young woman wears low-cut top, revealing cleavage as he sits on man's lap, riding a motorcycle, arms around his waist. Several men and women shown shirtless on the beach playing beach sports. So that's the sex category. Extremely mild. Violence and gore. Two pilots in a jet, and we see that one has trouble getting free. See him floating in the ocean. Man's dead. It's this, if you recall from the first Top Gun movie, there's a flashback to when Goose dies. Jets pull up dramatically over a mountain and missiles are fired. Pilots evade them. A lot of in-air fighter jet violence and action and suspense with that. Pilots passing out from intense G-force. Jet spins towards the ground. He revives and pulls up right before crashing. Birds crash into the windshield of the jet. The birds splatter. Two men steal a fighter jet and fly it off the runway. The clipped wheels, a lot of damage, suspense there, until the jet declares them killed. A man lunges towards another man after he goads him about his father and is pulled apart by the others in a fighting. A man's carried out of a bar by three other men and thrown to the ground outside when he cannot pay his tab. Man describes the G-force that pilots will encounter will make breathing nearly impossible and the oxygen to their brain and they will likely pass out. So that's the violence. Language, there is one F word that they sneaked in there. It wasn't too loud. There's various other name calling, probable, sitting ducks, old man, insane. You gotta be kidding me, shut up, take it easy type exclamations. Two religious profanities being the goddamn word, and then 10 or more religious exclamations like God Almighty, things like that. Substance abuse, there's just bar scenes, no substance abuse. So the topics are teamwork, survival, freedom, parenting, and legacy of following in your father's footsteps because they have Goose's son, which is a great part of the film, and then taking risk. So let's go through the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and then we'll give it a final for the family score. So the Rotten Tomatoes scores were extremely high. Critics rated this at a 96%, which is unbelievably high for Rotten Tomatoes. And then the audience, out of over 50,000 verified reviews, rated this at a 99%. So this movie was rated basically perfect, and I would agree with that. This is my favorite movie of the year. I absolutely loved this movie, and I love the first movie. And usually sequels get criticized for not being as good as the first, but somehow, this might even be better than the first, if possible. The sequel not only matched the first, but it even exceeded in some ways. This was an incredible movie. I highly recommend. So I would rate this for the family final verdict score 3 out of 10. This is PG-13 because of the airplane dogfighting scenes, but this is not a movie to be concerned about. So unless you have a strict no PG-13 movie, this should not be a film that you're concerned about your children seeing. So that's all. Please like and subscribe to support us and tell all your friends. God bless you and your family.